Alright, welcome back to another Neon Neuron Builds. This is the Neon Neuron Builds Flippy Faces. This is Flippy Faces, a series of paper toy that Titus would put out in 2010. This is what the final product will look like once we get all this sorted out here, folded and glued together. It's going to look like this sweet little angel here. This is Anita Angel, and that's the goal right there. So this is the Flippy Faces, and the Flippy Faces has each toy. I believe there was angels, there was a gorilla, and there was a pirate from what I remember. I don't know if there has been more added, but it was created by artist and creative artist Titus Woods, and the Flippy Faces series has each toy has 4 faces that you can choose to set your mood, whether you're in a surprised, I'm going to say this is a surprise. Sometimes I use it as a frustrated face. This is a pleased, content face, and this is the very happy face, and this is the sad, depressed, or just sick of it all face. So each of the toys have 4 faces, and as we put it together, you will see how to utilize these 4 faces. So I've already pre-scored everything, and I've cut everything out, and I went ahead and scored everything. Not on this video though. So what the scoring does is, you just run this along all the fold lines to make folding a lot easier. So just go like that on any fold line, and it creates an indentation in the paper that makes it easier to fold like this. See that nice clean line that we have there? And that is because we pre-scored the paper. So let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna pop the top off of the glue. And start creasing all of the fold lines. Now, scoring does take a bit of time, but it is well worth the time you put into it because, like I said, it makes folding that much easier. If I could give you an example of what folding is like without scoring, I will, and once we fold this, I'll do that. But let's just fold all the pieces, and why we pre-fold them before we glue is just to give the paper a memory, an idea of where it is going to end up and what we have planned for it. So lets the paper know where it's gonna go. So now the paper knows it's got a memory now of how it's supposed to be. And let me show you what scoring. So this is a test Papercraft that I was building, and let's say we want to fold this line and we haven't scored it yet, so we're gonna have to do our best to line it up, and you can see it kind of gets twisted because it's not a perfectly straight line or even near perfect straight line. You see by eyeballing it, I kind of missed a little bit here. And scoring, now we'll score this next line and we can compare. Okay, so then line it up, just run it along. Alright, and then it's so easy. Bam, see? Automatic goes where it needs to go, and you can even see how clean it is on the back here. And then right here it's a little bit more rounded. It's not as crisp or as sharp as this line. Even out here you can see the paper kind of folds and buckles at places where the paper twists because you didn't get a good clean fold. As opposed to right here, the paper is nice and straight still. So that's why we like to score before we fold. Makes life easier. And yes, it does take up time. I've said that already, but it makes it easier. So let's go ahead and get our glue applicator. It's going to scrape off all that excess glue. Give me 1 second. You can already see the flippy face, how it takes on 4 different faces. See? One side, and this is just the base right here. We're gonna put the, I guess, the clothes layer on later. So Titus also did us a favor by labeling which ones we should glue first. First we'll glue this one, then we'll glue these ones second, and then third we'll glue the top. And it's always nice when the designer takes that in mind for helping us. So we're going to go ahead and glue on this tab. And I don't normally glue on the tabs themselves because you get these globs of glue that build up on the side, and I don't like that. I usually glue on this side, and I should have done that. I don't know why I didn't do that. Things happen. Go ahead and glue that there. Line it up nice. Make sure it's even. And then hold it tight. Let me see if I can get my tweezers out. Where are they? There they are. Ah, I got my hair in the camera. Please excuse my big old hair. So go ahead and pinch that tight so it gets a nice grip. Do the other side to make sure that everything is connected. Okay, once we have that, we'll go ahead to step 2. Start gluing these sides here. Just give it a few seconds for the full contact and then the hold. Same on this one. Give it a few seconds. Get our tweezers out. And another smart move also is leaving the bottom open completely. I know it's very tempting for some designers to want to put a final flap on there and close it off completely, which is nice, but it's a little too much and it's not necessary. The less is more in this, when it comes to Papercraft. More often than not, that's the case. Especially in instances when you're going to have to get inside and hold things. Go ahead and pinch that with the tweezers. Hold it for a few seconds. Okay, and I think we're good. So then we'll come back up to step 3 here. We'll probably just do all of this at once, since it doesn't make any sense to try to do all 3 tabs separately. So in order to do this, I'm gonna do it on this side, on the flap. Seems I'm just having glue problems in general. Alright, so what we do now is take this flap, press it down, and try to line it up as evenly as possible. Turn it upside down and use just gentle pressure and push it down on the surface of the table. Looks like we got a nice hold, so there we go. There's the base with the 4 faces of different moods that you could be in, or that your angel and Anita can be in. So we'll put that aside for now. We'll come over here and we'll start folding these. This is the gown and the hair. This is the outer dress. Make sure my hands are clean so that I'm not getting glue debris everywhere. Okay, I'm just going along everything that we've already scored and folding it. There's these little things right here. We're gonna score. I mean, they've been scored and then we're gonna fold. These things right here. Okay. And there's little hair, the little hair wings right here. I'm just gonna fold out because these are valley folds, which means you fold out the items that you fold it like a valley instead of like a mountain. Like a mountain, like a valley. And that's these ones, like a mountain. And these little hair wings are for the valley. Alright. And we ended up on step 3. So we're gonna do step 4 and step 5. So it's fairly easy. Not so complicated. Just gonna check and measure where we need to put it when we glue it. Okay, so we can go ahead and add glue. Line it up again, and hold it. Once we got it nice and set, go ahead and get the tweezers out. Let that do most of the heavy lifting for us. Come in from the top also and just kind of secure this little bit right there, this little corner. Make sure that it's got secured. Alright, the next one is step 5, and this one we can do one at a time, and I think we'd do that just to make sure that we don't mess it up. So we're just gonna bring that down right there, right there. First, cleaning off your applicator, and what this does is it pushes through the cardboard and that scrapes off all the extra dried up glue. Start with this side. Just line it up. We're just pressing the tab against the top of the paper there. And then we'll do the other side. Just get a little bit more glue on there. Separate it just slightly. We don't want to damage the paper. Just going to separate it slightly and spread glue right in there. And press down. Oops. And this is folded down, but you can fold it up and then get the tweezers right in there to secure the hold. Wipe off any excess glue. It's always handy to keep like a damp paper towel or a damp rag handy so that you can wipe your fingers off if they get too gummy. So when we got that, all right, so this is pretty much almost done. So there you go. There's the example. We got the flippy face. She's happy. She's sad. Or she's sleeping. Shh. Or she's just intent. And looks like we can be done, but from the picture you can see we still have her hands, the halo, and the wings. So let's go ahead and we'll work on that next. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and the next piece that we're going to put together is the hands right there. The hands in prayer position. So go ahead and get that all folded up. We've already scored the paper, so the folds will be easy, and we want to pre-fold after we score so that we can give the paper a memory of where it's going to go, and so that we can have an idea of where things are going to go as well. So it's going to look like that. And then after we put 8 together, we're going to put 9 right there where the line is. Titus was kind enough to give us a line where to line it up. So let's go ahead and get all this ready before we do the finishing touches. So once again, we finished with step 6, so we're going to go with 7, 8, and then 9. So 7 will be here and right there. I think one of those was meant to be 6 because I think it was step 5 that we finished on. So step 7-1 will be step 6. Hold it about 5 seconds. That would be the other one. Give it about 5 seconds. Right. Now we'll do the official number 7 right in here. Line that up right there. Let's go ahead and clean off our applicator. Extra glue off. Apply glue to the 7th tab. Tweezers in. And then go to the next slide. Tweezers right there. Give it about 5 seconds. All right, now we're going to do step 8. And I think we should be able to do both of these tabs at once. But it's going to require our utmost patience. Use both of our hands for this one. Let's go ahead and push the top down, line it up, and then hold it. In hindsight, this probably wasn't a good idea. But it looks like it's turning out all right. Just gonna hold it for a few more seconds. I think we're good. So there you go. There is that piece. All that's left to do is attach part 9 right here and the other 9 right there. And then once that's done, we'll glue the arms to the side here. Then it'll look like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and put glue here and here. Tab 9, line it up. Okay, drop the body out. Just light pressure, we don't want to twist it out of shape. You'll see this is a kind of tricky part. So can we come back here? Yeah, so we're going to get our tweezers right in there. Hold it in place. Just pinch along the tab inside. Looks like it's got a nice solid hold right in there. Right in there. So what we were doing was getting our tweezers right in there. Just running it along. Looks like it's got a hold. So we're going to do the other side right here. And that's why it's handy to have one of these things, because you can get into those hard to reach places. Line it up. There's the line. Press. Get our tweezers right in there. There we go. And we're just pinching it along the tab to make sure that it is well secured. There we go. And we could probably put a little bit more in here, but we're not going to because we are going to glue these, and that creates a second layer of security holding these in place. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue on the back right here. And the tweezers to hold it in place. And begin planning for this side. Same thing. We're going to apply a dab of glue right there. Just hold it in place. Put a little bit more glue on our applicator. Just a little bit. Okay. Put it in place. And hold. Get our tweezers out. Place. Looking pretty complete. I think we are good. And she is happy. Look at that. Very, very interesting shape. Very neat. This is I'd probably say this is a moderate Papercraft. Alright, next we are going to be building the wings. That would be this part and this part. So that's a two-piece. There's a pretty interesting mechanism right under here that allows the wings to open and close to bring this part in, to pull it out. It looks like it's fully extended in this picture, but we will show you exactly how that works. It's a pretty neat little device. So we got the right wing here. It's gonna score right there, fold in half, and then cut this circle out. And you can do that any way you want. If you have a hole puncher that size, that works perfectly. I used the X-Acto blade. It's a little tricky, but it works. And then we have this part. I've already scored these pieces. We're going to go ahead and fold them. And we want to pre-fold everything so that we have an idea of where everything's going. This is a valley fold right here, so that's going to fold up like that, and then everything else will fold down. There's another valley fold right in here, so that's going to fold up, and then this piece folds back. So another valley fold right there. Down, and this folds down. So it's going to look something like this. And then this will glue to the back right there. 14 right. And then this is this goes in here to create more support for the wing structure. Like that. And then here we have the mechanism. So this piece is going to go in here, right like that. And when you pull this piece over, it'll allow this to go like that. I made it upside down. Okay, it's a good thing we didn't finish yet. And that is exactly why you want to see where everything goes before you finalize the toy, because that exact thing as I put this in upside down. I'm like, something's wrong here. Right there. Now, in order to give this enough room to wiggle and to move, you're going to use these here. You're going to stack these on top of each other and then glue them to the back right here, the back of this circle, which will create, when you glue it down, it'll create enough space for this to slide in and out. So we finished on step 9. So we're going to go with step 10 and 11. Okay. Now the quality of the build here is all up to you, and this is the part you want to pay extra attention to. So I put glue on both sides, letting it dry a little bit so that it will create an even stronger bond. I'm holding it with my hands right now because it's such a tight little space that I don't think the tweezers are going to be able to get in there. Holding it for longer than I should and checking the back. Can we get the tweezers in there? No, probably not, but we can do this. Using the flat surface of the table and pushing the tab against the back here, we're ensuring that it creates an even stronger bond to the paper. Okay, so I think we're good there. Now we need to do this tab right here, number 10. So we're just going to fold this back to get it out of the way. So you can put glue on the second 10. And then we're going to put glue on the back here, letting it dry a little bit so that it builds up extra tack. Now we'll go ahead and just close that down. Hold it for a few seconds. Ensuring the adhesion is secure. Go back here, flatten it out, get the tweezers, just press down right there. And it looks like we're good. And now we have step 11, so we'll go ahead and bend this back out of the way because we're going to have to fold this down like that. Alright. Now we're gluing both these sides here, and that ensures extra hold. A lot of the times you don't need it, it's not necessary. The glue's strong enough on its own, but in situations like this, where you're going to be moving parts, it's just good to know that there's an extra step to ensure that the pieces are where they need to be. Now since we can't get inside, we're going to go ahead and just press down right here gently. You don't want to put too much pressure because we're not trying to cave this little section in. Give it a few seconds extra just to ensure adhesion. So that was 11, and then 12, 13. But before we do that, let's get this out of the way. We'll glue these two together. Create an extra. Tweezers for this. A lot of glue. If you put too much, it's going to leak out the sides. It is inevitable. So that's good right there. Get a little bit more glue. And then we're going to glue it on the back of that circle with an R right there. See, it makes it a little thicker so that there's room, so that when we connect this, there will be room for it to spin and to turn and to maneuver. And what's ultimately is going to happen is we're going to glue 12 right there to the back right here, just like that. So, can we do that now? Let's see. Checking, giving ourselves an idea of how it's going to look when we're done. Like that. So this is going to go in there. See, there's plenty of room for it to move around, but you don't want it to spin freely. You want it to spin securely in there, enough to move it up and down. And it does look like we can go ahead and do 13 and 14. So let's get that out of the way. Put glue right there, and on that tab, I think we just might be able to do both of these tabs at once. It's going to require us to hold it just a little bit. There's a huge glob of glue, and maybe using going both at once was not a good idea. Okay, so we'll start off, we'll just put more glue in a little bit. But let's start off with 12 right here, or 13 right here, making sure that this sticks. And once we got that glued, then we'll glue in 14 right in here. Let's get this out of the way. Looks like we're good. Put a little bit more glue. There. We'll just close that over right there. Hold it in place until it is nice and stuck. This we're gonna have to give a few extra seconds to, maybe a little bit more than normal. Bring the tweezers right in here to hold it in place. Okay, pull this flap up gently. We don't want it to separate. And we're gonna slide, oh, before we do, we're gonna glue this together. Together. You don't have to put glue on the whole thing. I like that, personally, I like leaving the feathers separated because it creates depth and it gives it a layered appearance. Just want this to be secure right in here. Maybe this area right up here. A little bit of glue just along here. You don't want to put too much because it'll seep out and then get stuck on the gear that we built, the little spindle. So I'm going to press down for a minute. Okay, and I think good. I'm going to check to make sure that there's no extra glue coming through. And then we will put this right under the R. But before we do that, and this has got to be very, very delicate operation right here. We're going to put, ooh, that's too much. We're going to put just a dab right on the 12. And then we'll put this in without getting any glue on it. Make sure that it's the right way. And then press down right there. And while we did that, we separated this part right in here. That little spot right there. This one that we were having trouble with before. But I think in order to solve that problem is once I get this done, we're going to put glue right back, or right on the R. Put glue on the R here and then fold that over, which will help keep this into place right there. So let's go ahead and get a little bit more glue on the applicator. Dab it on the R there. And then bring it down. And pushing this little spot into place right there. You can probably... Well, I think it's good. It looks like it's locked into place right there. And right here. We're going to give it a test real quick. And it moves freely. Perfect. And that's exactly what we want it to do. Alright, so let's work on the second wing now. It's basically the same as the first wing. And if you can see, we finished this one up. And you can see how nicely it moves now that it's all dry and the mechanism is working. Very, very nice. Look how cool that is. So we'll put that there for now. And same thing as last time. We're going to fold this in half and just kind of glue it right in there. Just get some glue out. Pressing it down. This will make it nice and secure for let's glue this top half too. And that'll help tighten up. Get any of that excess glue off. Excess glue. Try to keep that glue off of your fingers. The cleaner your hands are, the cleaner the model will ultimately turn out. And that is exactly what we want. Nice, clean model. Alright, so let's go back over to here. And again, we have 10, 11. Everything's been pre-scored and pre-folded, so it's going to go. Fold the 10 right there. And the 11 like that, just like we did with the other one. This is going to be a valley fold, so it's going to fold up. The two sides are going to fold up instead of folding down. That will fold down. And then after 11, we will glue the 12 right behind here, but we'll get to that. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves, do we? See where the 10 goes. First 10. You put a little bit too much glue on there, but that's fine. Wipe that off. Hold it here. We're going to use the table. Flat surface of the table and get our tweezers out. Just press down right there just to make sure that it's got a nice solid hold. Hold it for a few seconds. There, we're going to do the second 10th step. Get a little bit of glue that we have on our applicator, just spread it there. We'll probably put a little bit on this side as well, just to give it a strong hold. And then fold it in. Hold it for a few seconds. Dope. Something happened. Paper shifted, that's what happened. Looks like it's got a nice, nope, no it doesn't. I spoke too soon. Coming from right under here, right there. And then push that flap, this flap right there, we're gonna push that down, put some weight on it. Once it's got a nice hold, fold that flap back in, and that's where we're going to glue to the back right there. So let's go ahead and do that. Clean our applicator off. There we go, nice and clean. Just a little glue on this tab on the wall along here. Line it up, press it. The other thing we can do is push that down right there and just apply pressure right here. Like we got a nice hold. So let's go back over to the two studs over here, paper studs. Glue these together, so put a little bit right there. You don't want too much, because if you put too much, it's going to leak out the sides when you press it down. So glue those two together. Press down. Adjusting, making sure they're right on top of each other, and applying pressure to the top to create that nice tight bond. There you go. Still a little, you can still feel it moving under there. So we're gonna come back over here and just make sure everything's set. While that settles, we will examine this little part, and this is a valley fold right here, so it's gonna go like that, like that. And I think we're gonna hold off on gluing this part right here until we finish this piece. So the wings like that. Alright, I think this is good now. So let's glue the first side. So we're going to glue this 12 right under the L so that it lines up right there. Okay. So let's put some glue on the 12. And line it up right under the L. Hold it in place. Give it about 10 seconds. Okay, and then we're going to put glue right back here, and then press this down. Oh, but not yet. We're gonna have to put this first. So we'll put the glue on the back, and slide that under. Way too much glue, more than I need. So we don't want to get it too messy because we don't want the glue to leak out the sides and trap the wing extension in. Okay, so once we have it lined up, press down, making sure that it doesn't get on this because we don't want this to get stuck. Okay, see, so there's still some mobility in it, so that's good. That means that no glue has gotten stuck to the wing extension. We're gonna hold it so it creates a nice tight seal. Rotation. It looks like it's free. Perfect. Now we'll go ahead and focus on this part. We're going to start by putting glue on these tabs. I believe that's the 12 and 13. Or rather, that's the 13 tabs, 2 13 tabs. But rather than put the glue on these tabs, we're just going to put it on the wall back here. So that all we'll have to do is just fold it over and press it in place. So use the tweezers to get right in there. Pinch it. It's kind of, so right now it's kind of pinching it around the tabs. And that's exactly what we want to do. Because it pinches it in place and it presses against the tabs in there. And it creates that hold. Nice seal. Okay, and without disturbing this too much, we're gonna see, I brought it up and it's separated from the wall there. See, it popped off. So we're just gonna need a little bit more glue right in there. While we do that, let's put a little bit of glue on the L, just a little bit, you don't want too much, because if it leaks out the side, it's going to hold the wing extension in place and it won't be able to rotate. Let's put that down. So put some pressure over here. And if all goes well, we should be finished with the second wing. And there's just a couple more things that we got to do, and we will be done. Give it about 10 more seconds. Alright, let's see how it... We got movement, we've got nice hold, perfect, and we have got a set of wings. But before we put the wings on, let's finish the hair. Okay, so we just got two pieces that go on the hair. We got the bangs, which will go right here. Just gonna line them up with all this here. So we're going to start by putting glue on this tab. And then lining that up at the top of the bangs. Once that's in place, just apply glue to the side right here. apply glue right in there, and then pinch these together. So it's got a nice hold. I don't want to let it go at the risk of gluing it unevenly. Right. Now we do the same to the other side right over here. Back there, then line it up, hold it. 5 seconds for good measure, 10 seconds for great measure. Hold it for 10 seconds. And then we have the ponytail on the back, which will come down over the wing, so we don't want to put that piece on yet. Alright, so you'll see here on the back, it's got the 14 left, 14 right. So step number 14, this is 14 right. So it's going to go on this side, and what's going to happen is it's going to glue on the back and on the side right there. So that creates a nice secure hold. We're gluing it to both panels, back panel and the side panel. So we're just going to apply a little bit of glue. Right. Yeah, let's do it right here. Right here. Then match it up, and once we have it lined up, go ahead and hold it. And you can bend it too, just to make sure you got it in the right spot. See, so got it in the right spot, and it bends perfectly. So we'll hold it there for another 5 seconds. And then once we think we got it good, we're going to glue this part to the body right there. Go ahead and glue on the 14, and then a little bit over here just to reinforce that. Alright, then we're going to press it against the side right there. Press it into place. I'm holding it with my finger, and I'm pushing it with this finger. Should be about ready. Yeah, I think we're good. Now let's do the other side. So we're going to put glue on the back of this tab right here. And then we're going to line it up. Spot designated right about there. We're going to bend it too, just to make sure. So see, it's bending it, and it fits right in. Perfect. Now all we got to do is just hold it in place. As it dries. I think we should be good. So we're going to go ahead and put the glue right here. here and glue on the 14 tab. Alright, fold that in, then press right in here. So I'm pressing with my middle finger right there, and then I'm pushing that in, but lightly, because I don't want to unhinge this, and I don't want to break this, and I don't want to dent this little shape right here. Put in a firm but gentle pressure. And once I think it's good enough, perfect, we're going to put the halo right back here, and then put this right there. So let's go ahead and glue the halo together. I have to figure out a more efficient way to dispense of the glue. Then just press down right there. Just gonna use the straight edge here. Go along and just press down. There we go. The halo is secure. Should I do it before or after? Let's take a look and see what looks better. Because we're gonna glue this last little hair back here, and then should the halo go above the hair? Yeah, I think maybe. Or let's see what it looks like under the hair. Yeah, maybe above the hair. So let's go ahead and we'll glue the hair first. And this is another piece that's helping to reinforce and strengthen the position of the wings. It's going to hold those in place as well. So we're just going to line it up the top, here, there, and then bring it down over here. There we go. Might have to clean up this side a little bit, but most of it looks like it's in place. And you can see like the nice little texturing right here on the hair pieces, giving it some nice shade and shaping, contouring. And there we go. So let's get the halo. We're gonna do something neat with the halo, though. We're gonna round it off a little bit to make it so it's not just sticking straight up, so that it's kind of see, so it looks like it's so let's twist this little tip up just a little bit. Okay. Oops. It's a little awkward. There we go. See, so now we got, except for this little part didn't bend quite right, causing the paper to fold. But it's paper. What are you gonna do? Put a little dab of glue right there. Put it in the spot that we think it looks best. And then set. Once it's in place, I think we are done. And we will put Joyful, Anita. And there it is. Angel, Anita, Angel. Just for you. Let's see if we can get her wings to open. So isn't that cool? Isn't that one of the coolest toys you've ever seen? So let's wings expanded, wings in, wings out. And she's happy. She's really happy. And she's sad. She must have done something, or the spirit of which she is guardian must have done something contrary to his truth. And here she's either singing in the choir or sleeping in the clouds. So if she's sleeping, we'll tuck her wings in. So yeah, that's it. That is Anita Angel by Titus Woods. Look it up at flippyfaces.com. Very little complicated around the wing area, but the end result is nonetheless amazing and fun. Look at that, just fun to play with, and depending on your mood too, is her wings would be open or closed. So I recommend you check it out, build one of your own, and join us next time. Thanks for watching.